Good morning, good day, good afternoon to everyone that may be ever listening to this video vlog in the future. I decided to perhaps start some sort of blog series which covers predominantly, I'm thinking about covering my sleep because that's the most important thing in my life that I have decided overall. But perhaps it will venture into other realms. I'm sure it will. And also, this is just somewhat of an attempt to, I guess you could say, put myself out there more, or you could say that I've been thinking about blogging or creating a vlog for a very long time, in some sense. Never particularly seriously, but there's always one reason or another why I didn't want to do it yet, or wasn't ready or whatever. So anyways, now that I'm 31 and 3/4, almost 32, I just decided, fuck it. This is, this is now we're not, I feel like I'm ready. Which is saying something, because usually they say to, you'll never be ready and you got to start things before you're ready. But at this point, I feel like, I have put in enough groundwork and I know enough stuff, I guess you could say, about health, to feel like I'm not a complete imposter. Anyways, this is going to be a little, just a vlog mainly about sleep. We'll start it out with that. Last night was a pretty rough night overall. And I will summarize my current sleep problems with the verbiage that I'm getting some stages of sleep. Like, I certainly am getting some REM sleep. I'm dreaming. I am falling asleep. However, it is not a deep, restorative, and restful sleep where I wake up feeling refreshed. Instead, I wake up feeling like I didn't sleep that much, and I feel very tired and exhausted even when I wake up. I've never been a good sleeper in my entire life. I will confirm that. My mom also has sleeping issues, so my dad sleeps very well. But yeah, there is definitely some, individualism to these things. And I will say that, that's been a historical pattern for me. All that aside, so last night, this has been a consistent theme, past several weeks. I've not been sleeping as well as normal. Have tried to isolate a lot of variables. I guess I'll just go into them now. Yesterday I slept on the ground on a 3-inch foam mattress with a grounding sheet and a mattress pad, and the AC on in the room that I'm sleeping in, so direct AC in the room. And not excellent light hygiene, but could be worse. Not terrible either. So somewhat, I'd say should be relatively good, relatively acceptable, especially for modern standards. It's not like I'm working in a fluorescent light lit store for the entire day. No, plenty of outside time, waking up, definitely getting morning sun. Perhaps not quite as early as one would think or one would need, not 6 a.m. morning sun, not sunrise, but yes, whatever, 8 a.m., 8:30 morning sun. What else can I say? Yep, so slept, went to bed at about 10:30, 11, and got up at about 7:30 today, so roughly 8 hours, maybe. Yeah, I tried to sleep a bit longer, but I also took 50 milligrams of melatonin, 50 milligrams of melatonin, and 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate from Doctor's Best. Let's see, and I sleep with a pretty dark room, trying to make it as dark as possible. I am potentially, concerned about the CO2 buildup. I am aware of that because it is a fairly small room and there's not a lot of ventilation. I don't have any fresh air aside from cracking the windows a little bit. But just being one person and the fact that the windows are, it probably gets high. So anyways, that's a whole nother part of this equation. Maybe that is contributing to it, but yeah, I'm not sure that that's the exact linchpin for falling into a deep sleep or not. So symptoms that I have, I would say waking up with fatigue, makes it hard to be social. I would say makes it hard to be social because, you know, I just don't have much of a social battery, and dealing with people, having social interactions, in my experience as an introvert, takes energy, requires energy, and you know, you have to be a good listener, you have to be a good speaker, you have to hold frame, presence, all these types of things, which when you're feeling tired just is not fun, and it's freaking difficult, not enjoyable. Yeah, what else am I gonna say here? Yeah, I did not eat too late. I did have, you know, a little bit of a later meal, probably about 8:30, but it wasn't like it was extremely protein rich. It was just, you know, a regular, probably, you know, honestly, probably 500, 600, 700 calories, but it was nothing, you know, abominable. So we're getting on 6 minutes here. I'm thinking about, I mean, perhaps we'll leave it somewhere on here. Try to wrap up somewhat soon. Let's see. Today I'm probably gonna try leaving one of the doors open. In another blog, we'll see my sleeping arrangement, etc. Yeah, I'll try leaving one of the doors open so that there's more airflow and it's not as small of a space that I'm sleeping in. So that would reduce CO2 levels, and also we're gonna try keeping the other AC on, and it will be passively cooling. You know, I will be passively receiving cool air from the other room rather than getting directly blasted by the AC in my room. Other thoughts on this are that respiration seems to have some sort of deal or relationship with my sleep. When I am sleeping, my respiratory rate is remaining relatively elevated, and it feels like I'm not really able to drift off into a completely deep sleep, perhaps due to the heart rate and the breathing still being somewhat elevated. I find it has mini splits. I typically don't sleep very well with mini splits in general. Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes tonight. I am probably gonna drink some wine tonight just because I physically can't do anything else. I just, you know, it's you know, because my mind is somewhat awake. It's interesting because I'm getting some of the correct stages of sleep. I can tell from my mind, like, I couldn't go to sleep right now. That wouldn't be possible because my mind has somewhat of, you know, enough rest, but the body physically is just very tired, and so I can't really do anything. I was gonna play tennis. I was gonna go to a tennis clinic, but you know, I have to go pick up my tennis rackets from another property, then go to the tennis, you know, fight all this traffic, and then at this time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. That's gonna be a lot of effort, and then to go play tennis at a tennis clinic. I just don't think I can swing that right now. So I'm just gonna sit at home and just drink a bottle of wine and just read a book or something like that, and then hopefully just wake up and feel like I have more energy tomorrow. But you know, I was diagnosed hypothyroid several years ago. I do take the thyroid medication, Armour Thyroid, 1 gram per day. It has certainly helped overall, and definitely does, I believe, seem to help. But you know, it's not a complete answer. What else? I do try to shut off the power to some of the house, at least what's not totally necessary. What else? Yeah, I try to shut off the power when I sleep. And I'm grounded, obviously, with the grounding mat. It's a good it's not the grounding sheet, it's the actual grounding mat. Yeah. And yeah. I think that is everything. So if there's anything else, I will add it in a separate adage. But there we go. Let's see how this goes. And fantastic to meet everyone on this lovely day here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Ciao.